Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Buddy Intruder. Welcome back to Crusader Kings 3 for something a little bit different this evening, because this is a sponsored video, because Paradox emailed me and they said, John, we want to give you access to the ruler designer a little bit early so you can make a video. And I said, great, 100% no problem. They said, no, John, we weren't done talking yet, and we want to send a truckload full of money to your house too. To which I replied, well, I'd already kind of said yes, actually, but sure, I like Crusader Kings 3, and I like a truckload of money, so let's flipping go! So yes, indeed, the ruler designer from Crusader Kings 2 is back, and what that basically means is, yes, up to this point, you always started with either a major historical figure, or, if we didn't know who the historical figure was, someone who is, you know, a reasonable guess as to the sort of person who might have been in charge in that area at that time, as sometimes, you know, who was a very minor lord is lost to history. But no longer. Because now, instead of, you know, the historical figures you're supposed to be playing as, you can just, make your own ruler instead. So, today, we're going to be having a look-see at what you can do, how you do it, and, yeah, why that might be rather advantageous. So, let's start off with a baby here, which conveniently also lets me, yes, just grab the age slider here and make babies grow up, then grow down, then up, then down, and yes, this is slightly terrifying to watch, particularly like about this stage when yes, it's kind of skipping through 18 years in a few seconds. Definitely a bit on the terrifying side there. So what you're supposed to be doing here is building up a character, and the game tries to, you know, keep you a bit honest. You see, if you want your game to be eligible for achievements, you've got to actually keep your character within 400 points, but those points can be just distributed however you want. So this is really like, you know, a ludicrously in-depth RPG character builder, which is kind of cool. So for example, yeah, let's go over here. Let's just very quickly just zoom him up to being an adult. Absolutely marvellous. Before he made, yes, his ill-advised beard-related decision. There we go, marvellous. So, yes, we can pick him an education. Any education of our choosing, but of course, the better education is gonna cost a lot more. And today what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through building as good a character as you can get in each of the different focuses, and then a couple of little wild cards I have in mind too. So this guy, he is going to be the most ludicrously charming bastard who has ever charmed his way around the world. So as a result of that, go over to personality, and yeah, we can decide how many traits he's got. Normally you get like about 3 per character. In this designer, you can have more as long as you can afford them. But what we really want is, of course, stuff that's gonna give him diplomacy. And generous is particularly good for this guy, because yes, in his religion, that's a virtue. So plus 10, that's just an absolute no-brainer, right flipping there. His age also alters that, because yes, as you get a bit older, that's going to be more and more flipping expensive, presumably because, you know, you're not having to deal with short-range penalties anymore. Now pick very carefully here, because yes, they're not all the same price. So calms plus 25, that only gets me plus 1 diplomacy. That's not great. Honest will do, though. Yes, generous and honest. Honesty is only plus 20, because it does come with some significant downsides. That's pretty good. Party man. Yes, everybody loves a lovely party. That'll do just fine. Do we want to also have trusting and compassionate? They're only 10, because yes, once again, they do come with some downsides. And yeah, you can see there, we're starting to eat into, yeah, the points a bit here. So let's save a handful of points for other traits. So you can also, if you want to, give him all the traits from the end of the various perk trees. However, they are a bit on the expensive side, it must be said. And a whole bunch of lifestyle traits as well. So legendary reveler, if this kid at the age of 16 is already a legendary flipping partier, which, I'm gonna be honest, I do actually want to, kinda want to give him that. I mean, the basic level, yeah, you know what, at 16, he can't be a legendary partier, but maybe over time, he could get that way. So, he's just had his first beer, he really liked it, marvellous. So yeah, you've also got hunting and blade using as well. And there's a lot here too, so yes, you've also got various health problems, together with illnesses, genetic traits, though obviously those are very expensive. Genius is gonna be, yeah, half your flipping skill points right there, so understandable, but maybe we don't want to invest in that. Though do bear in mind, of course, if you're willing to accept, the problems of certain negative traits, that does get you a handful of points back you can use elsewhere, because you can also just straight up boost your stats. And boosting your stats starts off really cheap. So yeah, +2, there's +2, then all of a sudden in a moment it's going to start getting, now we're into +4, then it's starting to be +7, so yeah, things are starting to get expensive fast, but we should probably give him, like, at least some stuff in his other skills, just to avoid him being, like, too flipping terrible. Yeah, let's just get him up to poor. Okay, so he's not terrible, it's just he's much better at the old diplomacy. That's good, that's good. Also, there's a weight slider, so this is slightly horrifying to use. You can also choose whether he's married or not, which can be very useful, because, yeah, having a free hand to decide who you're going to be married with at the beginning of the game, that's pretty darn nice. Though I do need to make him a little bit older if I want him to have children. Yes, though... oh, that's cute. I hadn't realised that before right now. So, yes, you can't have more children than it's physically possible to have based on your age, which does admittedly assume that you're only having children with, your wife, which is... well, if you play Crusader Kings, yeah, that's not always how it goes. You know what? I've got the points for it. I'm going to make him a legendary party master. The booze is flowing. It is a party. He's generous. It's a fun time. And we're just gonna slightly... there we go. So we have now hit precisely 400. And that gets him a diplomacy of 34. It's a pretty good result, and that character is, he is still eligible for achievement. So, why would you do this? Why would you build a character that's going to specialise in some things rather than others? Well, because depending on, like, where you are and who you are and what religion or culture and diddly-diddly-dee, there might be different reasons why you want to have a character who's good at different things. Though before we dive into that, let's just, dig into this guy right over here. Just, make sure we've got a good chance to in particular. Yeah, have a look at that beard. That's a good beard, but maybe it could be better. Oh, yeah, that's the beard. That's the beard right there. If you like your sliders, by the way, you're gonna be in heaven, because the Filtrum alone has 3 different sliders. So, yeah, You've got a lot of options here. Also, I like to think that this is his party trick. He can make his nose dance. This is why you come to this guy's parties. They are legendary, and everybody loves the nose dance. And so begins the adventure of King Partion of the Von Dude Dynasty, who is also king of the Von Dude Kingdom. Because, you're not just creating a character, you can also create your dynasty. Everything's up for flipping grabs. And naturally, we want to give him all the diplomacy in the world, and he even gets himself, just get 1 perk at the age of 18, because, he's gaining the experience fast. Though, to be honest, none of this is actually going to give him much in the way of, you know what, groomed to rule. You do have 2 children from some unspecified source, so that's all absolutely fine. There we go, 38 diplomacy, which is really damn good. That there is general opinion plus 30. Now, that's good for anybody, but the reason I picked this guy in particular to be King Partion Von Dude is because, the government. This guy is sitting in one of the clan governments, which potentially makes ridiculously high diplomacy particularly useful. Because under clan, levies and taxes is a function, not a feudal contract, but instead opinion. So as a result of that, the fact that this guy is ludicrously well loved by all his flipping vassals, because he's just such a cool dude. And okay, some of them aren't 100% on him, but they'll come round. It's fine, because just look at that. Personal diplomacy plus 30. They'll come round over time. He is young and spends a lot of time partying, doing the nose trick, so fair enough, to be honest. But, most of them sort of like him. And one thing I love, by the way, is you're not committed to playing as the rulers you create. You can just go around the world creating a whole bunch of rulers that you then leave in the hands of the computer. So if I just say, you know, nip into the Byzantine Empire right now, I might just decide, actually, this whole orthodoxy thing, that's a bit on the boring side. No. How about instead we have some good, lovely hangabout. There it is! Yes, the obscure sect of Christianity that believes in not wearing clothes. That sounds much better, though thankfully he keeps his rags on this screen at least. And there we go! Basileus Eugenius No Pants is now in play. But yeah, just to make absolute double sure that this is going to survive, we can then just nip into his empire, make sure everybody else agrees with all of his very special lifestyle choices. There we go, he's got a handful of very sympathetic followers dotted around the Greek world, and now I don't actually have to play as them. I can just go over here, where people are, you know, bothering to actually wear clothes, and just sort of watch the newly nudist Byzantine Empire do its own thing, which is marvellous. And yes, indeed, immediately some of the dukes have started converting their own territory to be Adamites, so nudity shall spread through the Orthodox Empire, or possibly there'll be some form of nudist versus not nudist civil war. My money's on the side that does actually believe in wearing armour, yes. Right, next up, as I've been enjoying playing as Vikings recently, yeah, how about we let Harold Hardrada, or rather our younger, sexier, optimised version of Harold Hardrada, finally get that glory that he truly deserves. So, okay, how about we make ourselves a ridiculously mega badass military leader? Oh yeah, bit of wrath, that's only 30 points, that's pretty good right there. Brave, obviously. Brave, not just martial, but prowess as well. He should be a good fighter. Now that's the stuff. Now zealous is admittedly, yeah, bit expensive for only +2, but I'll take it. So, oh yeah, wrathful, brave, zealous. He might officially say he's Catholic, but I still feel like he's a Viking in his heart, damn it. Legendary Blade Master, that's pretty darn good right there. And yeah, as I say, I can just give him any of the actual perk traits, though kind of feels a bit unfair to give a kid a perk trait, because it is impossible he could have actually earned it by now. So let's stay away from them, and that's just prowess. That's actually prowess too, so it doesn't actually help with the old, yeah, the martial. So maybe you can just be like, you know, a bit of a Blade Master. Though, you do notice there, his body is dynamically reacting to the perks I'm giving him. So yeah, right now he's a bit on the skinny side, but if in fact he is a legendary swordsman, he is much more bulked up, which is really cool. Okay, you know what? We'll give him strategist and say he just was really good at studying military strategy at school. That's all absolutely fine. Oh, and of course he has to be a giant. He couldn't not be a giant. Oh yeah, that's more flippin' like it. This one's way more difficult. Can I lower some of these? Yeah, I could lower this a little bit. I mean, to be honest, does he need diplomacy? Or intrigue? Or, like, intelligence? Because I don't feel like he does. I think he's doing just fine. Because, yeah, if you want a military leader, you also need to pay for, the perks to make him much more effective in battle. Because we are trying to make the ultimate commander here. And there's a lot of flippin' perks that he could maybe take for that. Though Organizer is a really good one for only 25, yeah. Faster movement speed is incredible, because then you can just catch enemies where they're not expecting to be caught. So that's pretty good. And an aggressive attacker too, yeah. This kid, he's been studying military strategy all his life. And then maybe, just for the rest of it, we just boost this up a little bit and, okay, we've gone over. Can we sacrifice? Yeah, I can sacrifice a tiny bit of prowess, so 13's still fine. Alright, that is perfectly fine. A-OK, 28 martial. Not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, not as good as the first person, purely because I had no choice but to, you know, give him some military traits if I wanted him to be a good commander. Ooh, but I've just learned something very important indeed, which is, if you make a ruler, they might not necessarily have, you know, the wars and claims going on that their historical predecessor did. So, King Ylvis of Norway, yeah, he doesn't actually have a war going on with King Harold Godwinson, and can't start one because, unlike the original Harold Hardrada, he doesn't actually have, you know, a reason to declare war. So, I might have just handed victory to England there, because now, unlike in real history, his attention's not going to be divided. He's only got one war on, and technically, he's got a really solid number of troops. So, okay, you're welcome, England, I suppose. Still, even though I've embarrassingly got no war to fight, yeah, this one's not a complicated one, because he's gonna be one of the best commanders in the bloody world, because Marshal directly converts into commander advantage, and if you're the king, you get a bonus +5 that everybody else doesn't get, so plus 28, plus another 5, yeah, 33 advantage is enough to carry even battles that seem impossible to win. Okay, next up, stewardship, so how about we go and create the richest man in all of history, just, you know, a handful of centuries early. Okay, good starting point, randomly generated ruler, but we do know from, yes, the very limited art we have, Mansa Musa had, well, he had a big beard, but maybe not that big, like something in the middle, if you'd be so kind. Yes, that'll do the job. And fun thing, by the way, every character has DNA, which you can just copy or paste, so if you've created someone you like, whether it's in terms of how they look or the particular combination of skills or whatever, you can just share it with other players, which is really damn cool. Okay, obviously Midas touched for, you know, Mansa Musa, the richest man who ever lived, abso-flippin'-lutely. And greedy feels a bit harsh and technically doesn't actually boost stewardship, but it does boost monthly income, so I feel like we've got to have that, yes. Ooh, just as good, but the problem here is just is actually really expensive. Plus 40 is a lot, bearing in mind it's just getting me stewardship +2. If I just boost stewardship by, you know, 2, that costs a lot less than just does, so maybe come back to that one. Yeah, there's not so many perks that boost stewardship. It's relatively difficult to get up using, yeah, just traits. Stubborn's pretty cheap for +3, even though it's, yeah, not so great in other ways. I mean, I feel like I'm just doing a character assassination right now. There's no particular evidence Mansa Musa was particularly stubborn or greedy. In fact, the opposite. He just flipping gave money away. So much so it caused several economic crises. Right, bring him down to 18 just to get me a handful more points here. And, yeah, again, the lifestyle traits aren't generally about making money, because people can be famous swordsmen or famous drinkers, but apparently you can't be a famous accountant. Yeah, under the circumstances, he's allowed to have administrator and avarice, just because there's really not much we can give him. Why does the education reset? I swear that shouldn't. Okay, there we go, that's better. Okay, then manually boost stewardship up to, okay, 28 or 29, but, oh, he definitely doesn't need to fight. Take Intrigue down too, he'll just buy off his enemies, keep diplomacy and learning at, yeah, a rather decent, well, not decent, but not terrible 5, and that boosts me up to, ooh, not quite. Okay, he can be terrible at diplomacy too, that's fine. In fact, yep, screw it, just get everything down to 0, and that funds, ooh, not quite 33. Okay, that means you can have 2 back in all of this, you're welcome. And yes indeed, all across Mali you've got the very special gold mines of Mali, which are, they're just slightly ridiculous. I kind of love them, especially as that's level 1. Plus 5 gold at level 1. Up to 8, 11, then ultimately 14. Plus holding taxes up, plus a massive boost to development growth. And they don't just get 1. There's more flipping mines over here too. Also, something I feel like I should highlight as we get into the, you know, intrigue and murdery portion of the video. You can just have bright red eyes, if that's what you feel like having. That's all 100% fine, which you've got to appreciate the ability to roleplay as the literal devil. This is Tina of York, by the way. Deliberately gave her a very mundane name because if you're going to be the world's ultimate murdery spy master, then you don't want anyone to suspect you, do you? No, 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 no. You need to be an elusive shadow when no one suspects that you're the one who's poisoning all the pies. Now, I know I'm losing diplomacy, and Catholics will hate me, but +4 intrigue for only 30. Oh, deceitful, welcome to my life. Arbitrary's nice and cheap too, because yeah, plenty of the intrigue-boosting personality traits, they've got such severe downsides, they're not that expensive. Flippin' love it. In fact, Paranoid has got so many downsides, I actually get some points back together with having a giant pile of intrigue. So, oh yeah, that's pretty darn good. Toss in some callous, and I could take cynical, but to be honest, that's a bit expensive. So maybe leave that one aside, and I believe there's not much in the way of, no, lifestyle traits for intrigue, not so much of a thing, though I suppose we could take, schemers are. I can't say no to that, no, most definitely not. And I can't help myself to just a handful more points for being an adulterer and a fornicator, and I feel like, if you've embraced a life of scheming, plotting, there's gonna be some seduction in there, so there's gonna be a bit of adultery and fornicating. That's, it just comes with the territory. Now, give me a handful more points, and I feel like I've got plenty on this occasion, so keep that ticking up. And 43, wow. Okay, so it's way easier to get intrigue up. That's pretty bloody good. So the rest of you, okay, all you can have, never mind. That one's a no-go. That one's a bit better, just in case, any of the plotting doesn't work out. Let's make sure we know how to murder, and how bad's that? Not bad, that's only -1. So tragically, Tina does have some, problems to take care of. But, with the advantage of a smart husband, focusing on court intrigue, and a pretty decent spy master, who can also be supporting all of my schemes, let's just say some of those problems might just disappear. Oh yeah, I can pretty much just point at anybody I want dead, and they do just seem to sort of drop dead, which is pretty darn good. As for why you do this, well, obviously because, you're possessed by Satan. Did you not notice the eyes? And for my last trick, looking at the main stats, of course, we're going to be going over to, there we go, learning. But learning is, to my mind, potentially the most interesting one of all. Because, there's nothing to stop you, like I mentioned previously, just changing your religion. And it's every religion, even the flipping dead ones. So, if you want to, just start the game as a dead religion where you are literally the only person in the world following it. That's a fun challenge. You can just set up, and if you're going to be doing that, then, high learning's really going to be kind of necessary for that one. And here's some good cheap learning. Chaste, because you freed up so much time by not having sex, you can just read so many bloody books. Maybe patient, because, to bring back Hellenism, you're gonna need to be. Theologian feels, appropriate. That's very appropriate. Get rid of all of this. We're not gonna be needing any of that. Boost that up. I can get that up to 35. 35 is pretty good, and then boost the rest of that up to, diplomacy of 7, just to make sure we're not immediately, attacked. Otherwise, problems. Also, you need to look more, classically, my friends. We don't know precisely how people wore their hair in the ancient world, but we do know that slaves had their hair shaved, and there are kind of hints in Homer that the Greeks were thought of as having particularly long hair. So let's get this guy, lovely flowing locks. Together with the biggest beard I can find. It's gotta be the wizard's beard, damn it. Now that's a man you'd follow into a dead religion. And, oh yeah, given there is, literally no Hellenism in the world, this one's gonna be, this one would be very tricky. Still, this is why you need the high learning, damn it, because the high learning means, you can convert people much more easily. So, even though this guy doesn't like me, I'm so much more learned than him, there's a decent chance he might potentially choose to accept. And some of these people down over here, they are potentially, you're a better prospect. Yes, you don't even get a percentage. You just might decide to accept becoming the second Hellenic person in the world. Congrats! There's a lot you can do with learning as well, which is brilliant, because it was kind of not the most interesting stat in Crusader Kings 2, so I'm really glad it gets its chance to shine right here, where especially if you're the culture head, yeah, you're gonna be needing some learning to keep your culture ahead, which doesn't just help you, it helps your empire and all of your vassals for the rest of time, so that's really important. And if your religion includes religious law or any variant thereupon, yeah, learning is ludicrously useful, because then, if you've got a vassal who's sinful, just basically say, well, you're gonna be a criminal now, and then I'm gonna have all your stuff, and it's gonna be legit, because you're a criminal, because I said so, because I'm smart. It's great fun. So, that's the 5 primary statistics, but there were 2 other things I wanted to look into as well, which is, you may have noticed I said right back at the beginning, yeah, you need to keep your character in 400 points if you're going to actually have, you know, achievements enabled and be playing fairly and whatnot. But, that's not a hard cap. No. If you're happy for achievements to be disabled, then you can do whatever the flip you want. So how about we just say, yeah, this kid's going to be, diplomatic. Really diplomatic. Really diplomatic. Aside from one small thing, which is, I like this, by the way. Yes, he's currently excellent at 65. But if we just made that go up a tiny bit further, when he hits 69, it goes over to nice. That's fun. Then back to excellent at 70. But yes, there is a 69 nice joke in Crusader Kings 3. So let's just keep that moving in the right direction. Absolutely lovely. Getting a bit expensive at this point. Caps out to 100. No problem there whatsoever. So let's just see what that looks like. If you decide you don't particularly care one way or the other about your achievements, and you just want to be Superman Von Destroyer. Meaning I should say that, yes indeed, probably the priority we ought to have is, yeah, getting this guy to be as ludicrously healthy as possible, because we may as well keep the laddie alive. Let's get him up to 120 years, because now I'm curious about 2 things, which is, yeah, 1, how strong he's going to be, and 2, how long can you survive aged 120 with literally every good health perk in the world? Yes, despite being age 120, he's officially in excellent health, so okay, that's as old as the game says he's allowed to be, according to the slider, but I suspect things are about to keep ticking up anyway. So. 100 diplomacy, that means plus 92 general opinion with everybody. So, yes, King William the Bastard, he still flipping loves me. Alright, he thinks I'm great. He thinks I'm the flipping bee's knees. Marshal 100 is magnificent in terms of, yes, my levies being plus 184 versus where they should be. Taxes, the same. They are slightly ridiculous. I could pretty much just point at people and they die. So even, you know, the ridiculously hard to kill people, how about you? Yeah, 95%. Gonna take a year. So, okay. How about we just, we take you out and... Bloody hell, well done, mate. I mean, well flippin' done. I mean, I've got to give him credit, because, predicted agents. Now, by any chance, are those agents gonna be on my side because, they just love me. I'm so charming, his own court is just queuing up to murder him. Right, well, we'll just, get that in play. Not sure it's necessarily going to, come to that at all. Gonna be absolutely fine. Pretty sure I'm, a little bit on the stronger than you. Yes, and here's the exciting bit. Learning 100. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious what goes on with the tech boosts. So let's say I want royal prerogatives. So, right now, that would take 357 years. However, I have got learning 100. So as a result of that, just move that over and 18 years. Good. That's not bad. That's a good step forward, damn it. Here we go. William the Bastard has arrived, and I'm pretty sure, in this universe, he ain't gonna be flipping William the Conqueror. No. It's not gonna happen. Let's just check what's going on here. So, yeah, these guys do have more army commander traits. That's certainly true, but, When you say better army commander, oh, this is going to be good. Let's just get in there and see what's about to happen. Because I've got no men-at-arms. I've got nothing but trash. But let's just see where this is. Oh, he's falling back. He's falling back. Come on. Let's flipping get this done here. After you. And here we go. So, okay. Advantage plus 89 to me right now. Reinforcements just trying to come in at the moment. That's pretty nice. And I kind of feel like my commander's doing a good job here. Kind of doesn't really matter that they've brought the superior troops with men-at-arms and knights and all the rest of it. They can't defeat me. They can't defeat me. I am an unstoppable murder machine. Oh, and apparently there's a chance for a new religion, so go on then. We'll just be jumping over to that, because I'm guessing a lot of people are going to actually be embracing that, because they kind of don't have a choice. I'm just so bloody clever. Anyone who's decided they don't want to be joining up, I think I can convince them, though. To be honest, it seems like... Yes, everybody did already join up, because they love me and I'm so damn clever. Love it. By the way, what actually, what is this religion? I don't know, it seems about the same as mine, it's fine. Okay, age 131, my health has gone down from excellent to good, but it still seems to be fine for the minute. Age 140, I decided to get married in case, yes, the wife gave me the, like, taking good care of me perk or whatever. And, one, I've started having children with her, so, I mean, congrats, King Margaret. And also on top of that, I am healthier than her, even though she is literally more than a century younger than me. Okay, took to the age of 150, but I am now feeling fine. Still fine, plenty of life left in me yet. Age 165, my wife, who was literally a century younger than me, has now predeceased me. Age 168 into, 169, my health has become poor. It's starting to get a bit dicey here. Oh, and we've got our answer because I took Know Thyself. So, okay, I made it to 177. I've got a year left, so I will be 178 years old when I die, which is, actually, given I'm poor, not ailing, I feel like I've been unlucky there. I feel like I might have been able to make it to 200 on a good day. And finally, just out of interest, what if I did precisely the opposite of what I just did? Here we go. Nice young kid here, but I'm sorry, lad. You're not going to have a good time of it, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be giving you every single flipping health down trait in the game. Yes, so depressed and a bit bananas on toast, literally possessed by Satan. He's generically ill, but... Okay, apparently that can't be... You can't be ill and have pneumonia. Despite the fact I feel like ill and pneumonia are sort of... Okay, but pneumonia is critical, so we'll go for that. And by the way, we're also going to watch this kid, yes, not doing so hot. He's also got great pox and lover's pox, and he's a leper, and also one-eyed and one-legged. There's the leg down there, marvellous. He's also infirm. He is drunk, bit rosy cheek there, and gout, consumption, cancer, typhus, smallpox, scarred, blind, and yeah, we went from one eye down to nothing. He can also be horrendously ugly. That's good. Does stupidity come with... That does not make him any easier to kill or anything. So, feeble, that'll do the job. Together with a club foot, presumably the one that's not wooden. He is a hunchback, bit of a lisp, stuttering. He could be a dwarf, he could be inbred, he could be weak, dull, spindly, scaly. Yes, just everything. Bleeding, sterile. Is that your lot? He can also be a bastard and deviant and... what does cannibal do? Okay, cannibal does not in any way hurt him, so he doesn't necessarily need to have that. And also, yes, he's looking... he's not looking hot. He's not looking great. He can be a witch, though. And also an incestuous witch. Marvellous. Anything else? Anything that hurts his... yes, he's also got... No, that doesn't hurt his health, so he doesn't have a drug problem. And he also enjoys whipping himself. Marvellous. I think that might be your lot. And... yes, neither of those affect any of that. Good, 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 good. So, we're just going to kick this kid off now. and we're gonna see how long he can survive. Okay, so it is the 15th of September, 1066. I'm up in Scotland, so no trouble at the moment. The game is literally flagged, "You are dying," which is magnificent, and yes, I am most certainly dying. I've never even seen that one before, but this is you, unfortunately. That's some good stuff. So, come on, make it to... I mean, I've made it 5 days, honestly. I think I'm doing pretty bloody well. Come on, October. I just want to make it to Christmas. Alright? I want to have one Christmas as the King of Scotland, and honestly, I'll be pretty happy with that. So, okay. I made it, was that 1 month? Yeah, okay, so I made it, yes, 30 days. Honestly, it's not great. I actually didn't have time to get out an air, so that tragically is the end of that playthrough. I felt like it didn't have the most legs in the world anyway, to be honest. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is the ruler designer in Crusader Kings 3, and I will say, it's a good bit of fun, and under the right circumstances, it can be very useful. One, if you want to make sure you've got, an appropriate ruler, just to make your life a bit easier, but two, if you want to give yourself a ridiculous challenge. If you want to, be literally the only person in the world who's Hellenic or have one religion in the middle of an empire that's entirely a different religion. As that's kind of what I did during my Viking playthrough, it's great fun. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff about this. It is fun, it can make life a bit easier if you want to make your life a bit easier, or it can make your life much harder if that's your cup of tea. So, well worth a look. See, I love Crusader Kings 3, and oh, just imagine how good it's going to be once some of the DLC starts rolling out, because this has just been a handful of free updates. This is good stuff. Well worth checking out. Thank you very much to Paradox for driving a dump truck full of money right up to my house. You can check out Crusader Kings 3 with the link in the description below. Plenty more Crusader Kings 3 to come. Hopefully you are looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been Crusader Kings 3. Thank you very much, and goodbye.